Hi everyone, welcome back to the BoldSign API tutorial. In this video, I'll show you how to send signature requests with OAuth Authorization Code flow using BoldSign Python SDK. You'll learn how to generate an access token, make API calls, and use the refresh token to get a new access token. Before diving into the code, let me give an overview of how the OAuth Authorization Code flow works. BoldSign supports OAuth 2.0 for secure API access, using workflows such as client credentials, implicit, and authorization code flows. I've covered the client credentials and implicit flows in previous videos. Check the links in the description if you've missed them. Now let's dive into the OAuth Authorization Code flow. Authorization code flow is commonly used in server-side and mobile apps to securely access APIs on behalf of users. It involves obtaining an authorization code, which is exchanged for an access token to access protected resources. Proof key for code exchange, PKCE, adds an extra layer of security to the authorization code flow by preventing interception attacks. It ensures that only the original requester can exchange the authorization code for an access token. This is done by generating a code verifier, a random string, and a code challenge its hash, which are checked by the server during the exchange process. Let me demonstrate how the authorization code flow works. When users log in, they're redirected to the authorization URL with parameters like client ID, state, scope, redirect URI, and code challenge. The BoldSign login page appears first where you log in. After logging in, the consent page is displayed to review and grant permissions. Then you are redirected back to the provided redirect URI with the authorization code, scope, and state. Next, exchange the authorization code for access tokens by making a post request to the token URL. This will return the access token, refresh token expiry time, and scope. Once you have the access token, you can make BoldSign API calls. If the access token expires, you can use the refresh token to get a new one by providing client credentials to the authorization server. The refresh token has two expiry modes, absolute expiry and sliding expiry. In absolute expiry mode, the token is valid for 30 days from the time it is issued. Once this period ends, the user must log in again to obtain a new token. In contrast, sliding expiry allows the token's validity to be extended by another 30 days each time it is used. This means the user does not need to log in again as long as the token remains active and is used within the expiry window. Now let me show you the code to generate the access token and make API call. First, ensure that you have installed the BoldSign Python SDK by running the command pip install BoldSign in your terminal. As I have already installed it, I'll confirm by running pip show BoldSign. As you can see, the package has been installed and is ready to go. On the startup page, there's a login button which calls the authorization method. The first step in the authorization process is generating a PKCE code using the generate PKCE method. This method returns a code verifier, a randomly generated character string encoded in base64 URL format, and a code challenge SHA. 256 hashed version of the code verifier, also encoded in base64 URL format. I navigate to the developer documentation, copy and paste the codes for obtaining authorization token. The authorization URL has parameters like response type, state, client ID, scope, code challenge, and code challenge method. Now I'll return the URL to the client side. I've set the authorization URL and specified the scopes, open ID, email, and profile for basic user details. Offline, access for refresh tokens and BoldSign documents, all for full document access. Next, I need to set the client credentials and redirect URL. To generate client credentials, I navigate to the BoldSign web app, expand API menu settings, and select OAuth Apps. I click on the Create App button, which opens a dialog box. I enter the application name and set the redirect URL to specify where to navigate after permission is granted. I choose billing options whether to charge it to my account or my user's account. Finally, I set the refresh token expiry mode to absolute and save the app. Now I'm going to set these client credentials and redirect URL in my app. On the client side, upon a successful call, I redirect the login page to the authorization URL. Next, I manage the callback page. I implement a callback route with a view and action method. I compare the receive state parameter with the original state. If they don't match, suggesting a CSRF attack, I stop the process and redirect to an error page. If they match, I use the authorization code to obtain an access token. I refer to the BoldSign developer documentation, copy the Python code snippets for exchanging the code for an access token, and paste them into the callback method to enable eSignature requests via the BoldSign API. In the request parameters, I pass the grant type as authorization code, client ID, client secret code, redirect URL, and code verifier. The request returns the response. Next, I'll walk you through how to make API calls with access token. I create a view for the callback page, where I add two buttons, one to send the document for signing and the other to get new access token. I then add the codes for the two buttons. I switch to the developer documentation, copy the Python code, snippets for sending the document, and paste the code into the send document method. I update the code. I configure the form fields by setting the signature bounds. Next, I add the signer details, including their name and email address. I then set the document title and update the file path. Instead of passing the API key, I pass the bearer access token, which I retrieve from the session. Upon a successful call, I display the document ID as an alert. Next, to create a new access token when the old one expires, there are two options. You can generate a new one using a refresh token without re-authenticating, or you can log in from scratch by generating the authorization code. Let me show you how to generate a new access token with the refresh token. To do this, I switch to the developer documentation on refresh token, copy the Python code snippets, and paste them into refresh token method. Here, the grant type is refresh token. I set the client ID, client secret, and refresh token from the session. This will call the token URL, which provides a new access token. I update the tokens in the session. Upon a successful call, I display an alert message token refreshed. Next, I save the files and run the sample. The sample is now launched. I log in and navigate to the BoldSign login page. After entering the credentials and logging in, it directs me to the consent page. You can see the requested scopes that require permission to be granted. After verification, I click Allow. It will then redirect me to the page specified when creating the app. I select the Send Document option to initiate an eSignature request. The document ID is created showing that the document was successfully sent for signing. Next, I choose the Refresh Token option, which displays an alert with the message token refreshed, indicating that new tokens have been generated and stored in the session. If I try to send the document again, it will use the new access token to send the document for signing. The document has been successfully sent for signing. That's it. If you found this video helpful, like and subscribe. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned to our channel for more BoldSign tutorial videos.